What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy official live stream for this NBA 9-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. We have a ton of injury news that just came out right before lock and just on time. TJ is not with me. I feel like he does this on purpose right now. He's picking up his dog, I believe, so he'll be here any minute now. I'm going to be looking at my phone waiting for him to show up because I'm going to need a lot of help on this slate. This is definitely going to require two brains, not just one. But let me go ahead and just start out by giving you guys a basic direction on this slate. Thanks for all of you tuning in. This is the last slate before the NBA All-Star break. So before we jump into anything, I want to talk to you guys about the NBA All-Star success we've had the previous 2 years. Since we've been on YouTube, we've covered the NBA All-Star slate. Kid you not, the All-Star game. It has been the most successful slate out of any single slate. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm being completely transparent. There is a technique to winning these All-Star games, paying attention to insider news, paying attention to the rotations. There's so much strategy behind the NBA All-Star game, and I love covering it every single year. Last year, I put down, I believe it was $400, turned that into $1,500, and it would have been so much better. Literally pulled the one player I had, like in the last, I'd say the entire quarter. I was fuming, but the year before that, had a close takedown as well. The previous 2 years have been absolutely crazy for the All-Star break. I'm not kidding. So if you guys want to become a part of the community for the All-Star break, we'll be posting content on YouTube for it. But we'll have a cheat sheet for it. I'm so excited. That's the one slate I throw so much money on because it's a guaranteed cash. I'm not kidding to every single, all 60 of you guys watching. So let's go ahead and jump right into this 9-game slate without TJ. Let's talk about what just happened. So let's talk about the injury news that we're waiting for right now. We have Toronto, all the same injury news that we're used to seeing. Same thing as yesterday with Anobi, McCall, Siakam, Van Vliet out. With Boston, we have Langford and Smart out. Clippers, officially, Leonard is playing. So I was kind of bummed about that. I was kind of hoping he was going to sit because if he was sitting, Paul George was going to be a fantastic play. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. However, there's still some good plays. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Detroit just ruled out Jeremy Grant. Unfortunately, that is such a bad matchup. We're going to have to hone in on that team here. Jeremy Grant got ruled out alongside the rest of this horrible roster. So we're going to be checking on this Detroit-New York game here in just a second. We're still pending injury news here from Frank and also Elfrid Payton. Gibson, Robinson, and Rose are officially out. With Denver, we're going to talk about them in a second as well, but they are also in a very bad matchup. A lot of these bench players are ruled out for them, so it really doesn't impact them too much, but there's one player I want to talk about from that game. And then we are also officially without Aldridge. He was pending injury news before. Miami, though, if Butler and Adebayo do sit for this game, I wouldn't expect Butler to sit out just because he's not in the All-Star game technically, but if he does sit out, then there's a lot of value there in Miami. With Golden State, this is a huge team that we're going to be focusing on, especially after lock here. Oubre is questionable. Steph Curry is officially out, and same thing with Draymond Green. So a ton of usage to go around that Golden State team. We're actually going to start out by talking about them. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any calls from TJ before I start here, and I did not. So let's assume that Oubre does play. However, he sprained his wrist, so that is a pretty significant injury, especially for a shooter. So I'm gonna expect him not to play, but we're gonna break down the Warriors, assuming he does actually play, because this is a worst case scenario for them. If Oubre is ruled out after lock, definitely recommend jumping into the Discord. We're going to be breaking down all those injuries. But with these guys off the court, usage-wise, looks like Wiseman does benefit the most. There's going to be no secret here that Andrew Wiggins does benefit the most usage rate-wise. 6.4% usage bump. Wiseman, a 5.6% usage bump. Kelly Oubre, a 4.2% usage bump. And just like that, and TJ's calling me right in the queue. Sorry, guys. 1 second. On stream.
Hi.
Hi. I'm on stream.
I would like an invite to the stream, please.
Okay. Am I missing your call? No, you didn't call me.
What's that?
You didn't call me.
I know. Last time you told me to call you.
Yeah. Yeah, now call me on Discord. Bye. What? Alright, we're gonna wait for TJ here. You guys want to take a look at our Discord while we're waiting? Got some Jock Market content coming out. Yo!
Hi.
Hi. Just like that, you're late for one of the best slates to be late on. Again, TJ. No, I'm just kidding.
Can't help it, man.
Yeah, I know you
Grind
can't.
doesn't stop.
I know. All right, so I'm sure
Hi, everybody. Sorry for my tardiness.
it's all good. So
signed in
I'm
there.
assuming you saw the Detroit news, correct?
I did while I was driving home. I saw that Jeremy Grant is out.
Jeremy
again, so
Grant got ruled out. Al Horford's
Thanks.
officially out for OKC. Don't know if you
Yeah,
saw
I had
that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
you already had that. And then you do the San Antonio numbers without Aldridge?
I did do that.
Okay, awesome. So we're
I just
on
have to pull up
cue
my
here.
sheet. Oh, really? Oh, I have to do a recovery of my Gmail to get my. Oh, there we go. Just kidding. Perfect. Okay, you talk.
All right.
I gotta check out and see what else I missed.
I'll continue talking about the Golden State Warriors, guys. Wanamaker is projected 29 minutes right now. He's not that good of a fantasy point per minute player, but he doesn't have to be in 29 minutes when you're 3K. So right now, he's the highest owned player on the slate, 58.2% ownership and a 7.6 point per dollar value right now. The one thing I want to focus on when you guys are taking a look at the Golden State Warriors team is the rotations, because these guys actually do have a bigger rotation than I expected, so the minutes are kind of spread out. That's the one hesitation I have about the Golden State Warriors. We aren't looking at an 8-man rotation like we were seeing yesterday from Houston. By the way, if you took Patton, one of my locks smashed, and he didn't even do it in that many minutes. Wanamaker, that's the one thing, that's the one hesitation I had for this team. 29 minutes might be his ceiling. He could be playing 25-ish minutes, depending on if this game does get out of hand. This Warriors team does scare the heck out of me. That being said, I think you need Wanamaker in cash. He's just way too cheap. Should play, even if he only plays 25 minutes, should hit value. Only has to get to 15 points. Bazemore, the exact same thing can be said for him. Not that great of a fantasy point per minute player. So if we take a look here, Bazemore only averaging 0.87 fantasy points per minute and a 14% usage rate with these guys off the floor. Talking about Steph and Draymond. Again, I'm keeping Oubre on right now for a worst case scenario for you guys. Bazemore only projected 20.88 points, a 6 point per dollar value. And then the rest of these guys honestly kind of fall by the wayside. Pascal, 22 minutes is what we haven't projected at right now. That's not what I want to see from a $3,700 guy. Wiggins, not that good of a fantasy point per minute player. We got a comment in the Discord about Wiggins breaking the slate. I don't know if that's possible ever. Wiggins, I think about Wiggins when he played for the Timberwolves last year when Cat was out the entire year, or 2 years ago, whenever Cat was out, whatever season Cat was out for a majority of the year. It feels like every year at this point. And he still couldn't do anything. He couldn't break that 7K price tag. So 6.4 really doesn't interest me here for Andrew Wiggins. I like him for GPPs, but he really isn't that good on their sheet. Toscano Anderson, another player that's only playing 20 minutes, 3.1K. We have a lot of cheap options here for Golden State. I just don't know their upside. And TJ, I don't know if you want to jump in here and talk about these Golden State Warriors. And yes, if Oubre does play, even given his sprained wrist, is better than this entire roster. So I would have a lot of interest here in Oubre if he does play 33 minutes. However, with a sprained wrist, I don't think it's going to happen. Why would they do that right before the All-Star break? That's my thought.
Matt, real quick, we just got news that Zion is currently doubtful.
Yeah, because he's an All-Star.
So yeah, yep. A lot of people,
that's going to break the slate.
Taking it off before the All-Star break.
And I don't blame them.
In terms of Golden State, I'm right there with you. I think there is a lot of good value here, but we're obviously worried about the matchup on the road against Phoenix. I think the one guy that I am 100% taking in cash is going to be Brad Wanamaker at 3K, projected around 30-ish minutes. So just obviously passes the eye test. A guy that potentially could start at 30 minutes. Like, there's nothing not to love about him. Obviously, like Matt alluded to, it's a really low fantasy point per minute. With Steph and Draymond Green off the floor, he gets a 0.5 point usage bump. He's a 0.79 fantasy point per minute, 17% total usage. We even pegged for 24.61 DraftKings points. So if I'm taking anybody here in cash from Golden State, it's going to be Brad Wanamaker. All these other guys are honestly toss-ups. Like JTA is obviously an interesting play, projected at 26 minutes. But no one else really pops on the sheet, Matt. Like Wiggins and Oubre, guys that I'll have interest in. Like if they can keep it competitive here with Phoenix, like those two guys could play 35, 36 minutes. So I definitely love them, but probably more tournament plays. I have interest elsewhere. If we're talking cash, it's really just going to be Wanamaker for me. And then, if JTA does start, if Oubre's out, I'll have interest there as well at 3,100. Obviously, if Oubre sits, Matt, that's more usage to go around here. Oubre right now is a 26.1% total usage with no Draymond and Steph on the floor. So that would get distributed there. So I'd obviously have more interest in those cheaper guys, but right now, if Oubre's in, it's just going to be Wanamaker for me for cash currently.
So Rose, is he playing or is he out? Because
Derrick Rose is out. It's Alfred Payton that we're currently pending, and that's the big news. Because if he's out, then
I missed that. I missed Derrick Rose.
You have obviously Quickly. So there's a lot of A lot of things going on there.
So we're gonna wait for those Pelican minutes to separate and update. And then before we do that, TJ, let's move over to the Detroit picture, because I feel like that's the next team we're going to be looking at. A lot of injuries over there. I mean, pretty much their entire team. I'm not kidding. So we have Jeremy Grant, Delon Wright, Josh Jackson, Blake Griffin, Okafor, Frank Jackson, Killian Hayes, and also for usage purposes, we're going to take off Derrick Rose as well. So when you take a look at this picture, TJ, don't know. You said you did not update the minutes on there, or you didn't update the projections?
For Detroit, no, but
Okay.
it's the same. It's the same exact situation that we saw last night. It's virtually a 9-man rotation. I mean, Mikhailu's the guy that I want here, Matt. You and I actually discussed him about being a potential cash lock in our core 4 last night. Ultimately went a different direction, but still loved him as a cash play. I think I'm going to go right back to the well there at 30. Yep. You had him, and you had him starred. And like I said, we were talking about having him in our core 4. So in this type of situation, again, with all these guys off the floor, him starting projected, he's only 3,100. So he was 3,200 last night against Toronto, 3,100 tonight, probably play around like 32, 34 minutes. So I obviously love Mikhailu at 3,100 as a cheap option. A lot of people probably going to go back to Dennis Smith Jr., and I don't see why not. I mean, Matt, he went for 51 DraftKings points, and he only had 3 buckets. Like, he basically did everything for them last night. Right. He had a triple-double. Like, that's just absolutely crazy. So I obviously love DSJ. I think he's going to become cash viable as well. I don't want to fall in love with this game too much because Detroit's over-under isn't even eclipsing 100. But I'll have interest in a guy like Saddiq Bey for tournaments. It's hard to ignore Mason Plumlee and what he did against Toronto. Really good matchup tonight against the Knicks too. So I'll have interest in Plumlee and Bey for tournaments. DSJ for cash, and Mikhailu. Mikhailu's going to be a lock for me. Saban Lee, like all these guys that are going to play minutes are all really intriguing. Obviously, again, Matt, not in love with this over-under or their team total as a whole. Like Wayne Ellington went for 10 times value last night. Like a lot of great plays now with all these guys being out once again. So I think Detroit is a really good team to go for in terms of cash and fillers. Like Rodney McGruder played 26 minutes last night, Matt, had 37 DraftKings points at 3K.
Did he really?
Yeah. If he plays 25 minutes again, like I like McGruder, like
especially if he's shooting 14 times. Yeah.
Yes, it's not hard to love these Detroit guys, especially in the value. So at basically all these price tags being less than 5K, the team total being 99.5 points right now, like that doesn't really matter to me because if these guys are going to get run and play minutes, they're all so cheap that they should hit value and can easily exceed that. Saw it last night, obviously on a back-to-back here, traveling to New York. Don't love it, but again, really cheap. A lot of guys out, a lot of usage to go around. So I do like Mikhailu and cash along with Wanamaker. Those would be my 2 starting spots now.
Before I start talking about Detroit, guys, just want to also reiterate how much you guys killed it last night with that core. That core actually did very, very well. So I don't know if any of you guys used the community core. If you did, please do comment in the chat. We're going to do that again tonight. Already have the list made out. However, it's going to change once we get to answering some questions. I think that was fun. It was very interactive. So feel free to vote on that. For any of you new guys that are here, we did a community core where I posted a poll in the chat. You guys just vote for your favorite play. We lock in the 5 highest ranked guys that you voted for, and then we lock them in, and we tell you guys our community core. It was fun. That being said, TJ, I agree with everything you just said. I don't know if these guys ownership-wise are going to be in that cash territory with the exception of Mikhailu at 37% ownership right now, and that's before Jeremy Grant was ruled out. So, yes, he's Mr. Obvious play. Saddiq Bey looks so good on our cheat sheet, as much as I hate to say that. 5.9K, I think he's going to be a great GPP option. Mason Plumlee, doing very well. He rates very well on the sheet and a good matchup. Saban Lee, you already talked about. I think all these guys, in terms of how they look on their sheet, TJ, are fantastic GPP options. I just don't think the ownership will make it there, especially with Zion being ruled out here. And the rest of these injuries, we're still pending a ton of injury news on the slate, and I'm assuming it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. But yeah, I think these guys are all going to be GPP plays just because of the over-under.
I think Mikhailu's obviously going to be cash viable. He's going to be a cash lock for us right now, Matt. And honestly, I think DSJ is going to carry a lot of ownership as well.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the other team we were waiting for in terms of minutes. Who was that? Okay. Well, we can go to OKC. Have you computed OKC yet?
I have. I just want to make sure I have all the
I have not,
right.
So.
Yeah, it was. Okay, perfect. So we're going to get a lot of questions about Isaiah Roby. And it's funny, Matt. Ty Jerome is somebody that I wanted to talk about last night because since he started playing, he was an absolute green on our sheet. He was
Yeah.
even at 3,900 looked fantastic, but I didn't have the option. I didn't have the ability to talk about him last night because there was so much other news going on. So let me just make sure I have all the minutes right. 36, 36.
I have him at 25.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So
give me your fantasy points when you're talking about these players so I can put them in.
I have SGA at 43.05.
Okay.
I have Baisley at 32.9.
32.9. Okay.
Roby at 28.28.
28. Okay. Is that all that needs to be?
Dort.
Okay.
No, Dort at 25.05. You know how I am.
Yep.
Maladin 24.63.
Okay.
Kenrick Williams 22.8. And then Ty Jerome at 3,400, projected 25 minutes, 26.01 DraftKings.
I believe it. Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, the picture's pretty clear here. I think Isaiah Roby is going to be a guy that does carry ownership. Good matchup against the Spurs. Lacking bigs tonight. Obviously, no Aldridge, no Gay. Both of those guys still out. We do have Trey Lyles and Jakob Poeltl, so the two bigs that they have had. But still, I do like the matchup here for a guy like Isaiah Roby. He is pretty cheap at 5,400. Rates out decent on the sheet map with no Al Horford. No Al Horford, no Diallo, and no George Hill. We're looking at a guy that gets a 1% usage bump. He's exactly a 1 fantasy point per minute. Excuse me, 28.28 DraftKings points we haven't projected for. So I do like Isaiah Roby. I don't think I'm going to go to any of these guys in cash, honestly, Matt, but Ty Jerome is a guy that's really interesting at 3,400. He gets a 2% usage bump with those guys off the floor. 1.02 fantasy points per minute, 26 DraftKings points.
The amount of times that TJ talks about a player, I can tell you right now, TJ's going to play him in his main lineup. I can tell you right now. Just by the way he's talking about Ty Jerome right now.
No, I'm in love with the Detroit. No, the Detroit value is for me. Would I be overweighting him in tournaments? Yes,
yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
But would I be playing any of these guys in cash? Honestly, probably not. The one guy I'd want to look at would probably be Baisley or Roby. But I just think there's better value out here today on this slate, especially obviously the Pelicans news. We're still pending like Sabonis. We don't have that. We don't have Jeremy Lamb. We're pending Peyton and Frank for New York. Like that's big. We're obviously still pending Bam and Jimmy for Miami. Like if those two guys sit, like that's absolutely huge. That's what 55% usage to be dispersed throughout that roster. So there's still way too much news here for me to fall in love with OKC because Al Horford's out.
Right. Okay, let's continue down the line. I just checked the Pelicans minutes, TJ, and they actually aren't updated. They brought Zion down to 0, which is the only thing they updated. Everybody else is still the same. So let's move over to some of these other games. Specifically, I want to talk about this Clippers-Washington matchup. Just because of the matchup, we know we love targeting anybody against Washington. Unfortunately, Kawhi Leonard is playing. That being said, Kawhi Leonard is a very good play tonight, assuming he plays the full minutes. Now, here's the thing, TJ. We can speculate all you want right now. I don't know if he plays the full minutes tonight. Why would he? Right before the All-Star break. Do you think he actually goes out here? Right now he's projected 36 minutes. Do you think he goes out and plays 36 minutes tonight?
Yeah, I think if he's available, I think he does. Yeah. Okay. I don't see why he wouldn't, barring this game blows out. So yeah, if him and Paul George are good to go and this game stays competitive, like they'll probably play 35 minutes.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Washington is at home, so that does keep it closer in terms of the spread. Yeah. That being said, TJ, do you like Kawhi Leonard or Paul George for cash?
Yeah, I probably lean Paul George. No Marcus Morris tonight here, Matt. 8,600 for Paul. Yep. They're just both really cheap in a really good matchup. They have the highest team total over-under right now on the slate, just edging out Milwaukee and Portland. So I do think they're really good in terms of value. I think they're going to fall under the radar, obviously, as the Clippers normally do. But on the road, in a really good up-pace matchup against the Wizards, like I do like them a lot. I'd probably lean more in tournaments here than I would cash.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Kawhi was going to sit, like Paul George, I think I said George, would have been a lock for me at 8,600, but unfortunately we will see Kawhi tonight. So I don't really have anybody that I'm locking in here, but like Batum's really cheap at 4,200.
Ibaka I really like too.
Yeah, Ibaka at 4,800. The minutes kind of scare me with Ibaka, but even still, like
he's gotten a bump here without Morris, so that's the one thing I like about that. So
yeah, for sure. But I think my favorites are going to be Batum at 4,200, and then obviously Kawhi and Paul George. I'll be overweight on them in tournaments because again, if this game stays competitive and they play 35 minutes, like they should absolutely smash this type of situation.
And flipping over to the other side, a team that always gets overlooked, and yet again they are getting overlooked. If this game does get competitive, if you believe in Kawhi Leonard or you believe in Paul George, you have to believe in Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. That's just how it is. These guys are always lower owned, TJ. Going to be overweight on these guys as well. 8.6% ownership on Bradley Beal, and then Russell Westbrook at 5.4% ownership. Literally, the rest of the team has less than 1% ownership. I don't think that's accurate, but all of these guys are fantastic GPP options here, and they pace up spot. Let me check in on the Pelicans minutes. Gonna refresh.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be updated yet. They could be. Still see Zion.
Yo, Dean, chill. We will get to the questions here in a little bit. All right.
We'll get there, Dean.
Back to back questions. All right. Anybody? Nope, they didn't update yet. So
yeah.
All right.
Assuming you talked about Toronto already?
I actually have not. So when you got on stream, I was just talking about the Warriors. We can go there if you want. Against your Celtics. All right. So the Toronto Raptors, without Harris, Anunoby, Flynn, McCall, Siakam, Van Vliet, the exact same thing as last night. You guys crushed it with the Norman Powell call as a community. Did very, very well. Played 38 minutes is exactly what we're expecting tonight as well. Only showing 10.4% ownership. Lowry, I kind of expected him to let out a dud, TJ, just because whenever he is chalk, he always sucks. 13.4% ownership tonight, so that means he's going to go ballistic, right? Against your Boston Celtics. Terrence Davis is in the mix. 23 projected minutes. I think he busted last night. Yep, he did. Didn't play as many minutes as we would have originally expected. Bembry also an option. Who's your favorite person on the team to target tonight against your Celtics?
It's going to be Norman Powell again. Lowry's always had success against the Celtics, so I'm obviously interested there. I just obviously am worried about this game staying competitive. I mean, they lost to a depleted Detroit team last night, so having thoughts that they can stay competitive with a healthy Celtics team is kind of scary. I do have interest in a guy like Terrence Davis, Matt. He actually had 30% usage last night when he played his 21 minutes. He did get the start. So if he starts again tonight, I do like him as a cheap option.
He shot 2 for 11. He's not doing that again.
Yeah. He shot 2 for 11. You figure if he's shooting a little bit better, that would obviously relate and lead to more minutes as well. So I do have interest in Terrence Davis. Powell now with all those guys off the floor, 7.8% usage bump, 1.15 fantasy point per minute, 32% total usage, highest on the team. We haven't pegged for 44.6 DraftKings points. So I definitely like Norman Powell tonight at 7K. I have interest in Boucher. I would like him a little bit more if he starts, obviously, because Bane's coming back tonight. Bane's got the surprise start last night against Detroit. Looked pretty good in his 24 minutes that he did play. Him and Boucher ultimately split the center time there. It was like 23 and a half minutes for Baines, 24 and a half minutes there for Boucher, and Boucher came off the bench. But I think both those guys are in a really interesting spot against the Celtics. I think they both have pretty easy matchups, honestly. So I could get overweight on guys like Baines and Boucher. I obviously lean Boucher. But in terms of cash, Matt, like I wouldn't hate going to a guy like Powell. I know this game could potentially blow out, but I think Norman Powell can definitely get his. And then Terrence Davis, if he does start again, I would have a lot of interest in still at 3,700, 4% usage bump with all those guys off the floor, like you talked about, OG, Siakam, and Van Vliet. 0.97 fantasy point per minute, 25.6% total usage, haven't pegged for 23 DraftKings points. So I do like Norman Powell and Terrence Davis. That's kind of my thoughts there from Toronto.
I do think they're all GPP options. They can be cash fillers, but TJ, again, the general, I guess, trend of this entire slate is we're going to be following these games with higher over-unders because there's definitely some injury news in these other games with higher over-unders than that Toronto-Boston game. So that leads me on to another point, TJ. We have three studs to hone in on tonight. And it's going to be another one of those slates where we just have so much value and we just have to plug and play some of these studs. And you already know the two that I'm talking about, Giannis and Jokic. It was a debate the other night. We got it wrong, at least in cash. I mean, he was carrying higher ownership, so he technically didn't get it wrong. It's just Jokic snapped off. Okay, so we're going to go back to that exact same debate tonight. Jokic against Indiana, not the best matchup. 10.9K, a lot of injury news. What are you thinking in terms of cash? Giannis or Jokic or both?
Giannis.
Okay.
Way better matchup for Giannis going up against Memphis than Jokic has going up against Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana hasn't been great as of late, but if Sabonis is in, he's got to go up against Sabonis and Miles Turner, whereas Giannis gets to go up against a guy like Val. So I obviously love the matchup there a lot better than for Giannis than I do Jokic. So again, Matt, I do lean Giannis in this situation. You can get both. You can definitely get both. To be honest, I think you could get 2 of 3 between Giannis, Jokic, and Lillard. I honestly like all those guys tonight, but I
Yep.
definitely give the nod to Giannis.
I was just about to say, so Lillard is another one that I was about to mention against Sacramento. It's like, oh, I think it's criminal to turn down that.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he's not. I can't spit out words. 22.4% ownership, the best matchup. It's the highest paced game, I think, by far, TJ. Neither one of these teams just play defense. So I really do like Damian Lillard in the spot. I honestly might have to lean him over Giannis, given my lineup construction, but I do think it's going to be Lillard and Giannis. That being said, like, how can we even get close to saying we're going to fade Jokic at this point in the season? It's crazy with all these injuries. So I think all three of them are viable in cash. I just think it's about lineup construction. That being said, TJ, GPP night, how many times do we need to tell you guys? There's so many good plays yet again. Please take advantage of the ownership. Please play GPPs. Please take down tournaments. We had a ton of Patreon members just play GPPs last night, and I couldn't catch up with all the success. I only had to pick 5 pictures. Could only pick 5 pictures here on the video this morning, and I couldn't even decide which one. So, guys, keep continuing to play GPPs tonight. Yeah,
just to reiterate, just because we're saying Giannis over Jokic does not mean by any terms that Jokic is a bad play. The tear that Jokic has been on with no Millsap, no Gary Harris, who else is out? Jermichael Green, Campazzo. Like, it's just been an absolute tear. So, and he just did it against the Bucks too. They absolutely obliterated Milwaukee to Denver. So I honestly think, Matt, you can construct a lineup tonight where you have 2 of Giannis, Jokic, and Dame. I think that's 100% viable, especially with all the cheap options that we have in Detroit. Toronto's, there's some cheap options as well. So I think you can definitely do it. And then Golden State, obviously, with Brad Wanamaker. So it's definitely a viable option. I think a stars and scrubs type build is probably the way to go tonight in cash. And I think that means you're fitting in 2 of the studs between Giannis, Jokic, and Dame.
We just got minute updates from the Pelicans, so let's switch over there real quick, TJ, and then we are running very late on questions, and then we'll switch over to the community core, that segment, and we will finish on that note. So let's go ahead and do that. Is it just Zion out for them? Yes.
Yep.
Is Redick in?
Redick's questionable still.
Okay. That will impact them as well, obviously.
Yeah. So really, it's just Josh Hart getting a couple more minutes. Nikola Melli getting thrown into the rotation. Alexander Walker as well, probably. So nothing really changes too much. Eric Bledsoe looks really good.
In terms of
He
minutes.
gets 2 points. What's up?
In terms of minutes is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have Eric Bledsoe at 35 minutes. He gets a 2.6% usage bump, 0.91 fantasy points per minute. So we have him pegged for 32.7 DraftKings points, which is 6.06 value. So I honestly like I like Eric Bledsoe. He's really cheap. Obviously, Ingram, it's going to be tough to ignore. 2.7% usage bump, 1.25 fantasy points per minute. 31% total usage, have him as a 5.57 value, 46.22 DraftKings points. And then Josh Hart, 49 minutes projected, or 4,900 projected,
49 minutes.
Gets about a 1% usage bump, 0.8 fantasy points per minute. I think he's too in love with Top Shot right now to focus on basketball. So probably avoid him, more of a tournament play. Yeah. But I think the Ingram ownership is definitely going to come up there. It's a really tough matchup against Miami, though, so we can't forget about that. I'll obviously like it a little bit more if maybe Jimmy and Bam said. I think it could be more of a track meet. But if they're in, obviously that makes it really tough against New Orleans. So I'd be interested to see what the ownership looks like on a guy like Bledsoe and Ingram. I think Ingram's going to shoot up. I think Bledsoe probably will remain a tournament play, but if he does have low ownership,
I honestly think it has updated for me. I don't think these guys are showing over 12% ownership, but they did change, so I'm not surprised there, honestly, TJ. It's weird because Zion's such a high usage guy, so I don't know. Not in love with the matchup. Not in love with the minute boost that we just got. We'll have to wait for the ownerships to update. But that being said, let's transition over at 6:08. I'm going to post a community core in here, and then we'll get to some questions. And you guys are phenomenal. 225 of you guys in here right before the All-Star break. By the way, my video has flopped. Nobody wants to watch my videos. They just want to watch the live streams. So, whatever. As long as you guys are showing up, whether it's the live stream, whether it's the videos, I don't care. I don't care where you guys show up. Don't care.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll hit the Discord. See what we got in the premium chat. Of course, we're still pending so much injury news. Matt, did you brag about how awesome Jock Market was yet?
I have not, actually. Do you want to brag for me or no?
No, you do it, because I got to do the, what's it called?
Well, okay. All right. We crushed on Jock Market yesterday. Just straight up.
Yeah,
We
it
just
was absolutely
absolutely
amazing.
dominated. There was 4 picks, 4 of my top picks. Let's see if I can remember them. Patton, Michael Carter Williams,
Patton, Terrence
Harrell,
Ross,
and Terrence Ross.
Michael
That's who
Carter
they were.
Williams. Yeah.
All of them made some kind of return, and I believe Michael Carter Williams just broke the slate. So if you guys are interested in signing up for Jock Market, the link is below. DGF20, when you guys sign up, you get a $20 bonus.
All right, Matt, we got J3 in the chat saying he has Westbrook, Jokic, and Giannis in cash. That is a stars and scrubs type lineup. I like that. Deep 3 actually said he does also. I wonder if Jokic is too expensive at 11.6 on FanDuel. That is really expensive, honestly. 4,700 or under for DK cash forward. I really want to take Lyles over Bertans or Portis type. All right, let's check out the 4,700 range for forward and see what we got going on in terms of cash. Yeah, Lyles carrying some ownership for sure. Bielisa, Matt, actually carrying a little bit of ownership there. No white card tonight.
I was just looking at that.
I'd obviously keep an eye on a guy like Olynyk, especially if Bam is out. Jay Crowder rates out really good on our sheet with no Cam Johnson, but obviously worried about that matchup as a whole. Alec Burks, I think, is a really intriguing play if Peyton sits. I'd probably go with Alec Burks if Peyton's out. I think he could get a lot of run there for the Knicks, especially with Derrick Rose already out, Frank out. So that would probably be my favorite play. But I don't hate you for going Lyles, and especially with the news still pending there on Peyton. Excuse me, Frank. Frank's actually questionable as well. All right, so let's hit the YouTube chat now. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, one lineup from Hunter real quick. He's got this right now for a GPP. He's got Wanamaker, Mikhailo, Kawhi, Bielisa, Jokic, Quickly, Bazemore, and Giannis. I like that. I like that a lot, especially if Peyton sits. I like Quickly. Let's see what we got here. Peyton game time decision, yes. Why Wanamaker in Golden State? We have no Steph. He should see a lot of run there at the point guard position. So that is why we like Wanamaker. Very cheap. Should play 25 plus minutes, even if the game blows out. Time to run 5 Detroit players, said Deep 3. I think it's viable, man. Probably not that many, but there's obviously some really good value there in Detroit. Can't believe McConnell had 10. Yeah. Oh, Ethan, your Cavs, huh? Yeah, it's tough. He had 9 steals in that first half. I texted Matt immediately and was like, dude, you got to go check out McConnell's stat line. Absolutely insane. I can't believe he notched a triple-double with steals.
I'm going to jump in here real quick, guys. The poll just got posted. Matt, is there an updated Jock Market sheet? Yes, Aaron, there will be during the IPO phase. The IPO phase is the only thing that we care about, okay? So it has started. I'm going to be posting an update in the middle of it once I get off stream. Guys, vote for the poll down below. We're going to come up with another community core. The link is above. Literally just click the link. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to keep spamming it here, and then we'll find out who the 5 favorite plays are from this chat. All right, go ahead.
So Dean wants to know Randall, SGA, or Westbrook. I lean Westbrook. That'd be my play there. What are your projections for Wiseman tonight? The minutes are always scary with Wiseman. I think he could get run even if this game blows out, honestly, Matt. I am projected at 17 minutes right now, but with no Steph and no Draymond, he does get a 5.6% usage bump, 1.22 fantasy points per minute. So it's not the production that we're worried about here with Wiseman. It's obviously just the minutes. So if he somehow can creep up and play like, let's say 24 minutes, I'd have him pegged for 31 DraftKings points. So I would absolutely love him tonight. Just the minutes. I would definitely take chances on him in tournaments for sure. I don't know if I'd go there for in cash unless we somehow see that he's going to get a minute uptick.
Yeah.
Norman Pauster said so. No, what's up, baby? Bembry. I'm not going to go to Bembry. Just a guy that just logs minutes. He's good defensively, but not really an offensive presence. So I don't have interest there in Bembry.
All right, Deep. Deep has a FanDuel lineup here. Walker, which Kemba Walker, I'm assuming 7K over there. Nunn, 5,800. Jerome, 3,900. Wiggins, Batum, Barton, Crowder. We didn't even talk about Crowder, by the way. Cam Johnson is out. Giannis and Jokic. I don't mind that. That looks more GBP. I'm off Batum a little bit just because we have everybody playing for them. And I'm not too sure about Nunn tonight, assuming that everybody plays. But you guys know the deal. If Adebayo and Butler are out, we have to have some kind of love for that Miami team. That's all I have.
Thank you, Matt. Dudes in my SND are talking to you. Thank you, Sano. GPP lineup from DV8. He's got Wanamaker, Mikhailo, Powell, Pascal, Plumlee, DSJ,
We got some updates.
Excuse me. Yeah, DSJ, ABC, and Jokic. I like that. 2 studs, ABC, and Jokic. I do like that.
We got some updates.
Community core crushed it last night, Charles. Go ahead, man.
It really did. For any of you guys that use it, you guys can tell us your stories, your takedowns. I'm assuming you got some takedowns. Brandon Ingram, 18.6% ownership, which is about the 8th highest now, and Josh Hart's right below him at 16.6% ownership. So those two are cash viable now. I believe you mentioned Hart as a cash option. Same thing with Ingram, so we aren't too far off. But the other guys are still taking priority. Mikhailuk still at the top, Wanamaker, Giannis, Jokic, Lillard, and all the other studs. And then it goes down to Josh Hart as the next best value play. So he's good for value. Bazemore also below him.
Jokic train said, Kyle, I agree. Obviously, Jokic in a fantastic spot. Those top 3 studs in Jokic, Giannis, and Dame all look really good. Jokic is too good at scoring and passing. His IQ is god tier deep. I agree. I think he's uncoverable. I think he's unguardable right now. CP3 is a good defender. Wanamaker, no good play. I mean, Dean, yeah, but he's 3K, man, and he's going to get minutes, so I think he's a really good cheap option.
For sure.
Who projects better on the sheet, Giannis or Jokic?
Good, like overall?
TJ's head is in the way.
Yeah, sorry, that's where it's positioned.
Yeah,
Jokic technically looks better on our sheet.
Yep.
Technically, because of the injuries.
Yeah, he benefits a lot from injuries.
And again, he could easily be the highest scoring player in the slate.
100%. Matt, right now, Jokic with everybody off the floor. He is where are you? Hold on, I gotta find it. Where's Denver? Oh, okay. Jokic gets he's a 1.71 fantasy point per minute. We have him projected for 61.87 DraftKings points. We have Giannis projected for 58.1. So technically, Giannis is projected for less points than Jokic.
Again, the thing with Milwaukee in general is if the game stays close, their ceilings are so much higher. We already know that, okay? Same can't be said for any other team. Like Milwaukee, because they score so many points, because they're so efficient, because they're such a good team, they score so many points when the games stay close. Big question with any team that they play.
Green Wizards, GPP, Smith Jr., Quickly, Fox, or Lillard. Green, I just don't know. Are you asking us to pick 1, 2, 3 of those guys? Let me know, and we'll get back to them. How should you approach today's slate, Danny? I think if you're running cash, it's definitely going to be stars. I think it's going to be stars and scrubs. I think if you're playing tournaments, obviously that mid-tier, a lot of those guys are going to be very low owned. Nick's got a lineup. He's got Wanamaker, Mikhailuk, Bazemore, Giannis, Jokic, Dame, Pascal, and Davis. Wow. I do like that. You get the 3 studs in there. Just hope that those low values hit, and you're in a really good spot.
Also, real quick, TJ, I want to get this out for all 250 of you, okay? Packs just got dropped. They're going to get dropped in a couple hours here. If we get a pack, look out for a possible live stream tonight or pack opening video or something in the near future. Could be giving away some cards, okay? Could be. Okay, so if you guys want to show up for our Top Shot streams, I know a lot of you love them. Show us some support. What's going on?
Basically, what's Matt is saying is that I will give away some cards for you guys. Matt's going to keep them all in millions of dollars.
Okay.
Let's see what else do we have here. So Nick's got the lineup. We read that. On Patreon, do you give core plays and cheat sheets? Yep.
Absolutely.
We give our core 4 that Matt and I discussed. Right after we go off the stream, Matt and I stay in a Discord. We finalize the sheet. Matt types. Yeah, we normally fight over who we want in the 4. No, we've been good this year.
Mm-hmm.
We've been good this year. You gave me crap about Mikhailuk last night, but that was okay because I don't remember who you put in. I think it was you wanted Patton in there, and I said no. So we evened each other up.
Yeah.
Both the guys that we wanted smashed. We picked somebody that was
probably trash.
Did we have
I honestly forget. I don't remember.
We had Schroeder, Harden.
Don't make me relive last night.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember who else we had in there. They were all fire. Did we have Trauz in there? I don't remember. Oh, Brunson.
Brunson just did mediocre. Whatever. He was the highest owned.
He was really high owned.
Yeah.
Wiggins or Dragic, assuming Jimmy and Bam are out. If Jimmy and Bam are out, I want Dragic. We got a lineup. We got Quickly, Mikhailuk, Wiggins, Giannis, Jokic, DSJ, Roby, Wanamaker. I like that. Wiggins is the only guy I'm meh on, but I mean, he'll carry ownership. GPP lineup. We got Jamal Murray. I already love it. Paul George, Kenrich Williams. Kenrich Williams looks really good.
We have
Giannis, total, Wanamaker, Roby, Mikhailuk. I like that.
We have 245 of you in here and 31 votes on that poll. If you guys don't want the community core, that's fine. I don't have to send them out. But if you guys want the community core, hit that link up. Just scroll up in the YouTube chat and vote real quick. It takes 2 seconds. Vote for the community.
GPP lineup from Snags for FanDuel. We got McConnell going back to the wall with McConnell. I don't think he's going to get your double in snags. Let's be ready for that. Wanamaker, Mikhailou, SGA, Ingram, Winslow, Giannis, Randall, and Jakob Poeltl. I like that. I'm just a little weary on Winslow's minutes, especially since they are becoming a little bit healthier now. Lowry, Powell, Bembry, Stanley Johnson, and Baines tonight. So Terrence Davis coming off the bench. I don't like him.
Super draft. Good question. Hold on. Let me do that real quick.
My lineup is Giannis, Jokic, Lillard, Wanamaker, Bazemore, Batum, Mikhailou, and Wagner. Thoughts, please? I don't like Mo Wagner.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, Aaron, that would be the only guy I'm a little iffy on, but I honestly think there's some good value down there. You might be able to take him out, but I don't hate where you're going trying to get those 3 studs in there. Gabriel's got Andrew Wiggins or Dragic. Okay, I read that already. Dean's got a lineup here. He's got Quickly, DSJ, Wiggins, Kawhi, Ingram, JTA, Jakob Poeltl, and SGA. I don't like that for cash, but I do like it for tournaments. Danny said we work, Matt. That's why they're not watching the videos, bro. They got morning shifts, and yeah, I mean, I don't have time to watch Matt's trash videos. If I post
TJ doesn't watch them, so
watch them. Yeah. Ethan had Buddy Hield in Jock Market last night. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Little Buddy wagon.
I'm about to give out the most fire super draft plays you've ever heard in your entire life.
Okay. Is Will Barton a good play? Not for cash, not tonight. Aaron, yes, he's working on that right now. CP3 or Canner? Give me Canner. I think a way more competitive game. I'm nervous with Phoenix, obviously, going up against Golden State with no Steph or Dre. DKK, small GPP, pending Bam. We got Wanamaker, Mikhailou, Norman Powell, Giannis, Roby, Lillard, Hart, and Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, I don't hate that. Obviously, I think Kelly slides in there pretty nicely if Bam sits. Dean, I answered that with the SGA, Randall,
Who's
Westbrook.
The best player that will break the slate? I wish I knew. All right, super draft, TJ. Super draft. Let me cut you off. You ready for this?
Yep. Hit it,
Sadiq Bey has a 1.8 times multiplier. Okay.
Yeah, but Matt.
But what?
What did Sadiq Bey do last night?
Did he actually do trash last night?
Yeah, he didn't do very good.
Oh, he only played 24 minutes though. So come on. If he plays 32 minutes, absolutely love him. 1.8 times. That's almost criminal. That's like the highest that you can have.
There are actually teams. There are teams inquiring about him, trading for him.
I mean, he's not bad. At least according to our sheet.
If Detroit can't give him up.
Yeah, true. Michael Porter, TJ.
Jeremy Grant.
Michael Porter, I believe he had the same multiplier yesterday. You ready for this? 1.65 times.
1.7? Okay,
yeah, it's pretty close. Mason Plumlee, 1.65 times. And he's power forward eligible. Power forward. What? Okay, Chris Middleton, 1.4 times multiplier. Don't know why Chris Middleton hasn't gone lower in terms of multipliers. Jokic doesn't have a multiplier, but we know Jokic is he's an okay basketball player. Fox, 1.3 times. Brandon Ingram, TJ, 1.35 times multiplier. And then last but not least, let's move on to Damian Lillard here. Doesn't make sense. 1.15 times multiplier. There you go. Just made a lineup for you guys.
Good job, Matt. Love it. Yep. Roby or Crowder? I like Roby tonight, obviously. He's the best player that will break the slate. I think the best player that will break the slate is going to be Dean. Quickly, Dennis, Smith, or Bledsoe. I like Bledsoe for tournaments. I think for cash, you go DSJ, unless Quickly somehow starts. If Quickly somehow starts, then yeah, Quickly's a lock for me. Should I pair Kawhi and PG together? No, I'd pick one of them.
Yep, and GPP's.
Len and Robin should both have more minutes despite Mo Wagner starting to whoever asked. Thank you, J3. GPP lineup from Zach. We have Quickly, Mikhailou, Hart, Giannis, Jokic, DSJ, Norman Powell, and Wanamaker. I really do like that lineup. Do we like Wanamaker coming off the bench? Yes. 3K, gonna see minutes. So yes, obviously like him.
Guys, 2 more minutes to vote. I just posted the link in the chat, so just vote real quick. We're gonna create a community core for anybody new in here, and then we will come up with our cores, TJ. And we have 2 minutes to do that.
Corey Joseph interest, not really with Halliburton out. He is gonna see an uptick in minutes. I wouldn't mind him as a play, but nothing for cash. Georgia Kawhi, I think I lean PG tonight, but they're both really cheap. I'd want to be overweight on them both in tournaments if that game stays competitive. 4,300 left for utility. Who do you take? That's a fantastic question. Let's see what we got here at the 4,300 range. $4,300. I would say Wiseman.
Oh no,
they actually
that's a trap.
To 22. I do like Wiseman. Obviously, Trey Lyles is really interesting. Batum at 4,200 is really good. Bielisa is going to see an uptick in minutes. Honestly, man, if I saw Wiseman starting and playing 24 minutes, that would be my play.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the safe play is probably Trey Lyles if you're playing a one-liner cash.
I do like Batum though.
Yeah, I like Batum as well in there. Damian Lee, good option tonight. I wouldn't trust him in cash tonight, Caleb. I just don't know if the minutes are going to be there even without Steph. I think I answered. I'm trying to just pick orange juice or apple juice. I am definitely an apple juice guy.
I'm orange juice.
Okay, but I love apple juice. You buy orange juice all the time. I have to drink it. I don't complain. I love juice. Man, it just looked.
You guys just lit a fire.
Yeah.
You just lit a
will
fire.
SGA do good? I hope so. Is Rose out? Yes. Derrick Rose is out. We're pending Peyton and we're pending Frank there from New York. So those are two guys that we are 100%.
All right. Last two questions from the premium Discord chat, and then we're going to do the locks. All right. Cash, Wanamaker, Mikhailuk, Powell, Giannis, Jokic, Dennis Smith, Josh Hart, quickly. Not too sure about quickly because New York doesn't have that solidified news yet. Right? Still don't. Wow, it's 7:30 and they still don't. Yeah, don't know yet, Hudson.
Yeah, I love quickly though.
To be determined for your lineup. I'd say everybody else looks cash viable.
Yeah, if quickly starts, like he's a really good play even at 5,300.
Captain,
he's gonna shoot. Good.
Captain, obvious question. Giannis is a lock. So Jokic or Lillard? Please don't make us answer that question.
I go Dame.
I would have to go Dame for upside, but. I mean,
think the matchup is tough.
You think that, TJ, but come on.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know. He'll probably score the most on the slate again. Jokic will.
All right, guys.
It's just going to happen.
We have the poll results. You ready? Let me...
Georgia, Ingram. Thoughts on the tournaments?
Man.
Lowry lock?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Serge, Covington, or Bazley? I like Bazley. Okay, Matt, hit it.
Wow, you guys love Norman Powell. Absolutely love him. Mikhailuk, Lillard. Okay. Yeah, you guys love all the studs. We get it. Okay. Let me see if that's even possible. Let me see if you can even lock in anything with that. Yeah, you can't. So let me get rid of Lillard.
Studs? Of course you can.
Huh? Lillard, Giannis, and...
Yeah, Dame and Mikhailuk. Yeah, you can. You got to have Wanamaker in there. You got to have...
I just tried and said no.
Oh, you locked Norman Powell in there with those?
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait. You locked Norman Powell, Jokic, Giannis, Mikhailuk, and Dame? Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
and then...
I didn't know you locked in 5. Sorry.
Jerome. Where's Jerome? They like your Jerome pick.
Oh, boy.
Yep, this is going to get messy. There it is. Okay. Yeah, that can happen. All right, you ready for the core, TJ? It's going to be Mikhailuk, Giannis, Jokic, Damian Lillard, Ty Jerome. What's your thoughts?
I'm all in.
You're all in? Are you making lineups with it now?
Love it. Yeah, I just put it in.
You guys didn't pick Wanamaker. You guys hate Wanamaker tonight. I don't blame you. I mean, he's not that good of a player, but he's still getting 29 minutes, guys. Come on. Another value play there. But you guys are locking in Giannis, Jokic, and Lillard as your studs. It makes sense. So, all right. All right. But you guys also like Norman Powell as a one-off. TJ, what's your locks?
Oh, yeah. I forgot I have to do a core. If I had to do a core, you're going to have at least one of Giannis, Jokic, and Dame. Honestly, you're probably going to have 2 of them if you're running cash. I'm locking in Mikhailuk. Now, we didn't even talk about a guy like Nerlens Noel. His ownership's going to come up. I love him against Detroit with the depleted lineup, honestly. I think he's cash viable. I don't know if I'd lock him in there. My locks would be Mikhailuk, Wanamaker, Giannis. I'd probably say Brandon Ingram, man.
Brandon Ingram, okay, yeah. I don't mind that. 8,300. You guys got to look at all the studs on the slate, and he's the cheapest one. Yeah, and then the New York news, yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock in Mikhailuk, Wanamaker. I'm going to go down to Josh Hart. I will go down to Josh Hart. He has to do something. I mean, I have to get behind Josh Hart for all the top shot recognition, right? And then... Man, all right, I'll pick a stud for you guys. I'm going to go with Dame. Mikhailuk, Wanamaker, Dame, and Josh Hart is my lock. My core, rather. All right, guys. My picks are in, Matt. And we do watch your early vids. Thank you. Appreciate that, Green Wizard. We really do. Also, TJ, before you got on stream, you didn't hear this part. I talked about how fire our all-star picks are the previous 2 years. Last year, I almost got a takedown, and the only reason I didn't get a takedown was because it went so close, and they pulled, I think it was Donovan Mitchell. They pulled him out for whatever reason, and I turned $400 and only $1,200. I know, what a shame. And then the year before that, I almost got another takedown. Forgot how much I put down. But I kid you not, guys. NBA All-Star Game.
Oh, the All-Star game. Yeah,
The
yeah,
All-Star game content is just on fire. So if you guys want to sign up, this is the last day before the All-Star break. And the last time we'll talk to you guys probably, unless we do some Top Shot streams, which we probably will. Until then, we're going to be covering all of our content on Patreon. Esports, MMA is still going on. Golf is still going on. We have the NBA All-Star game we'll be covering on Discord. Everything you guys can get for $20 a month. Plus, if you're bored, you can just chat it up with a bunch of DFSers, guys. It's a blast. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and sign off. I still don't have the cut screen, so we're just going to awkwardly stare at the camera. Ready?
Love you guys. Good luck. Chips is okay. Thanks, J3. Love you. Mikhailo over Jerome. Jerome tournaments. Mikhailo cash.
Hey, here, let me at least turn on some music.
Larry's a good player. Or Powell is better with more shots. Favorite value center, David Jokic. Probably gonna know. Wait, why is Lowry good play?